There's a day that our hour will come when we leave this world. There's a clock that's ticking. There's a timeline that's taking place when that hour comes to an end. Most of us will never know when that hour is or when it will happen. This week I went to the doctor and for my annual checkup because I've had a heart condition for a while and for a long time. And as I went for my checkup, they asked me to wear this monitor. So they patched me up this week. They put these electrodes on me. And the process of this is basically a little device. And this little device here monitors my heart. And if I push it twice or hold it, it actually gives you different things that I can pick from of what my diagnoses are. And it sends a message to a service center that monitors a monitor, and there's someone that's monitoring it around the clock while I'm wearing it. So as I wear this monitor, it records what's going on. So as I was wearing this monitor for several days now, I meditated, I've been praying, I've been asking God for some discernment, some understanding, the whole process, and how I can use this stage or this effectiveness to help others. And in the process, this is the message that I'm going to share now, is what I've been receiving. We all have an hour that our life is going to run out. And in that process, how is it that we're using our time here on earth to have significance, to leave a legacy of purpose? What is our purpose? What is it? Why is it that we're here on earth? Each of us have a purpose here. God gave us a purpose. And what I've been learning over the years and through studies and through life is that we all try to find significance in something. Some of us might find significance in sports, right? We get a trophy, yeah, we won, right? And we hold on to that trophy, the significance. But it was only significance for that season. It's over. Once you accomplish that, it's over. Yeah. Then you put it on a shelf, and the significance of that season was temporal, was just temporarily gratifying. So you got to go back and do it again, and hope to win again, and compete again, and try to find significance through the process. You know, maybe it's accolades, maybe it's standing next to someone of significance in the community that he awards you. And he gives you an award, and he appreciates a job well done. Maybe that's the significance that you get, that we find. Or maybe it's graduation. Maybe it's a certificate of graduation. Oh, I accomplished my schooling. And you find significance in that. Or you get another certificate, right, of recognition, and you put it on the wall. And you can fill up this room full of things of significance, of different seasons in your life, of accomplishments where you feel good about yourself. And these significance and these things that come just through seasons is temporal. God has something bigger for us. And when we draw closer to God and we read His Word and we understand the stories behind the Bible, we truly find significance. King Solomon, he found significance in so many things, but yet they always came up empty. King Solomon, he shared, drunkenness, pleasure, womenizing. He had over 1,000 women that he was with. And it all came empty. It wasn't until he finally gave in to God that the true significance of life had purpose. We might find significance in our children, that if we're there for them all the time and they're there and they look up to us, that we basically become like their God. They're like, oh, daddy, oh, mommy, and it makes us feel great because we're there for them. But see, that shouldn't be our goal. Our goal is for them to find significance not in us, but to find significance in God. Because God says, for I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, but to give you hope in the future. But the very next verse says, seek me with all your heart and pray to me, and you will find these things. He tells us in Matthew 6:33 that seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and everything that's in your heart will be given unto you. Because see, God knows our heart. God knows how our heart beats. He knows how it beats. He's monitoring it. God is monitoring our heart from the heavens above. And all he wants is a pure heart. All he wants is a heart that it's really, truly dedicated to him. And if we can dedicate our hearts to God, it automatically just goes to our families and to our children and to our friends and into our work environment. Because God is peace, God is love, God is reverence, God is kindness, God is gentleness, God is love. And if we could just seek him with all of our heart, and he feels our heartbeat, he sees how our heart beats, his favor is going to come on you. His love is going to come on you. You're going to become infected with God's promises, because those are all promises. He says he knows he has a plan for you, a plan not to harm you, but to give you hope in the future. He has a future for you. He has a future for you and your family, but we have to seek him first. One of my favorite verses is John 10:10, because in John 10:10 he says, for I will give you life to its fullness. And we know what fullness is. Fullness is that one more drop, it overflows. And that's what he wants. He wants our lives to overflow. But see, the verse right before that, there's a comma before that one of fullness. It says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal, kill, and destroy. You see, if we don't have a relationship with God, we become vulnerable to the world, to society, and to the influences that are around us. And mainly we have it coming to the influences of the enemy, and vulnerable to his attacks, because we don't know how to defend. So first of all, the devil wants to steal. He says he wants to steal your relationship with God. He doesn't want you to have a relationship with God. He doesn't want you to come close to God. He doesn't want you to come close around a group of people that are chasing God. He wants you to be working, chasing women, drunkenness, orgies, gambling, doing things that are constantly destroying your life. That's what the devil, come on, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit, and he just keeps enticing. He puts it out like a little bait. Like when you're fishing, you throw that bait out and you wool it in and you let it go and you wool it in, hoping to catch that fish. Well, that's the devil. He's just constantly throwing all these things at you, trying to pull you in and draw you in, saying that this is significance. None of that is significance. None of it. But if he can keep you there, he steals you from God. And ultimately, that behavior, that idolization that we're doing, we're idling all these things. We want the certificate, we want the accolades, we want the recognition, we want all these fake promises from the people that brings emptiness, that never brings true fullness in our life. When that happens, what happens to the relationships that are around us? They start dying. They start deteriorating. We become isolated. We go into these little dark areas, these little dark rooms, and we start doing things that don't honor God. And when we get to those little dark rooms, it kills the relationships that are around us. Our wives won't want to talk to us. They won't be affectionate with us. Our kids start turning against us. They start saying things of disrespect, right? Our parents kind of like say, oh, that's not my son, that's not my daughter, you know, that's not how I raised you to be, you know. So the relationships around us start being killed. And ultimately what happens? It gets destroyed. God's design becomes destroyed. See, God's design is family. God's design is marriage. God's design is righteousness. God's design is true love, compassion, gentleness, kindness, forbearance, and love overall. He wants us to have hope. He wants us to have faith. But we can only find this by chasing Him. So that's why in John 10:10 it says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal your relationship from God, kill those relationships around you, and ultimately destroy the family atmosphere that God promises you to have. But see, God knows this. So He inserts that little comma there. Bam! That little comma. He says, but I have come that you have life to its fullness. How do you get it? How do you get there? Well, you see, a long time ago, my mom said something to me. And that's why I'm standing where I'm standing right now. Mom said, depending on the tree that you lean up against will determine the shade that's around you. Determine the tree you lean up against will determine the shade that's given onto you. So in other words, tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you who you are. Or tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you what your future will look like. Because see, where you're at today is based on decisions you've made in the past. Where you'll be tomorrow will be based on decisions you make today. The past does not equal the future. The past only equals the present. Let's make a change. Let's make an impact. Let's start moving forward with people that are like-minded, that are chasing the things of God, to better themselves and to better those that are around you. Because see, I learned also, these were one of the verses that totally changed my life. And it was in Matthew, and he said, actually John 8, and he says, if you're connected to the vine, you will bear fruit. But he who is not connected to the vine, it would be like the branch that breaks away and withers. See, this branch was once connected to this beautiful tree up behind me. And it broke away. And it withered. And it dried. And this is what happens when we're not connected to the vine, the true source of life, Jesus Himself. Jesus is the way, the only way, the path. And if we connect to Him, He'll show us the promises of God and everything that comes before us. Even in our hard times, even in times of struggle, even in times of pain, even in times of hurt, even in times of disillusionment, even in times of just total chaos. Maybe like what we're going through with this COVID-19. We can find joy, we can find happiness, and we can find God's promises. Folks, don't let your hour run out. Don't let your life pass you by. Every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, decades to come. Make it purposeful. God has a plan for you. Not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. But you must seek Him out. Band with like-minded individuals. Visit our website, menofthehourglass.org. And together, we can continue to build more men to reach their full potential in God's design. to become the best husbands, the best fathers, the best leaders, and the man that God created them to be. God bless you, and I hope this video makes an impact in your life.